evening and welcome to my Source Business Show. This is your go-to destination for all things business, and I am so glad that you're joining us. My name is Doreen Kimondo. I'm so thrilled to be hosting this amazing show where we get into the world of business and entrepreneurship, and I'm so happy that I am joined by a great woman, a financial consultant who is an expert in this field, and we are talking things financial management for businesses. So she is going to be helping us. Her name is Lois Mumbuanjoroge. She owns a company that is called Luisita Financial Consultancy Firm. I'm so happy to be joined by her this evening. Thank you so much, Lois.
You're welcome.
Karibu sana to PrayerCaveTV studios.
Asante sana.
We are so glad to have you.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be here.
Yes.
As well. Yes.
Thank you so much. Kindly just give us a brief introduction of yourself. Say hi to our viewers. Tell them who you are, because I've just mentioned your name.
Yeah.
Maybe you have something more that you would add.
Okay.
Yes.
Though the introduction was quite, it was quite insightful.
Yes.
As Doreen has said, my name is Lois Mumbuanjoroge. I'm a financial consultant at Luisita Consultancy Firm. Normally what we do, we consult with individuals and also businesses in regards to personal financial management and also business financial management. And that from the point of personal, we talk about things, personal finances in terms of budgeting, investments, even retirement.
Yeah.
And also again, when it comes to business, we talk about normal things like taxes,
Yeah.
how to budget for your business, how to plan finances for your business, so that we don't find our businesses falling, and also our personal finances being in a situation where we are not able to manage them, or we are misusing them instead of putting them to make money for us.
Awesome.
Yes.
That is so great. I know, my viewer, you are there and you're wondering, is it for just small businesses or big businesses? Don't move. This is the show where you get all informed on all this. Can you walk me through your journey and experience in financial consulting? What is your background? Yes.
Okay. Thank you for the question.
Yes.
My background, I'd say, let me start from a point of studies. From the point of studies, I've done Bachelor of Commerce,
Okay.
Finance,
Yeah.
and also I've done accounting, that is CPA. And from that, now coming to a personal experience at the point whereby I'm starting to be intrigued about money, is the point whereby you start handling money and you're like, this money is scarce. I have too many bills to pay.
Yeah.
How will I manage? How will I allocate those scarce resources just to fit my needs? And that is where the journey began. And in the long term, it translated to businesses, because I believe everyone is a business person, is an entrepreneur.
Yeah, sure.
So you are always running your home like a business. I understand people that have, let me use parents, or if you are a guardian, you can understand this. Or even if you are a student or whatever, you can understand the fact that you just have to ensure your basic needs are catered for. So that is how it started from a personal experience. And now the urge to also help others came along, and that is how I formed the business.
Wow.
Yes.
Amazing. How has it been being even an entrepreneur in your own business? Is it challenging, or how has it been?
I can't say it has been a roller coaster. There are just ups and downs.
Yeah.
But through it all, God has enabled me and given me the wisdom that I need, and also people just to look up to, and also to consult on where I need some information.
Yeah.
So that combined has been of great help to bring me where I am to date. Yes.
Wow. Now we are getting deeper inside.
Yes.
And now we want to know what services do you offer, and how do your customers get help?
Oh,
Yes.
okay. I'd start from the business.
Yeah.
So starting from the business, we do offer issues budgeting,
Mm-hmm.
even personal. We
Mm-hmm.
do offer budgeting.
Yeah.
Budgeting runs from personal to business because we need to ensure that we have allocated the resources that we do have
Mm-hmm.
to the various needs that we have as
Yeah.
a business and as an individual.
Mm-hmm.
Also, we do offer tax consultancy,
Wow.
whereby we know tax is a big issue, especially when it comes to businesses.
Yeah.
So we do come up with strategies to ensure that we are tax compliant and have aligned ourselves according to the government regulations and what we need to do just to ensure we are on the safe side. Yes. The other one would be financial management, because we have noticed that there is a lot of misuse when it comes to the resources that we have.
Yeah.
So we need to ensure that we plan these finances very well. If there is need be to reinvest, we do that to ensure that money is always working for us.
Sure.
And not the other way around.
Wow.
Yes.
Amazing. And can you just walk us through what financial management, maybe people are asking, we've already started on top there. What is financial management and what does it actually entail? Do we just say financial management is managing our finances and just forgetting about all the other things? What does it entail in detail?
Okay.
Yeah.
In layman's language,
Yeah.
I'd put it as the strategic planning
Mm-hmm.
and managing of the resources that we have
Wow.
to align to the, for instance, if it's a company, to a company's objectives, such that once you have your goals and you have your objectives, you are going to align the finances you have to achieve those objectives. And now this again comes down to the resources that we have. As we know, resources are scarce, be it money, be it human resource, they are scarce. So we need to align that to the objectives, the vision and the goal that we have for your farm or as an individual. Yes, so that is what financial management is in just a layman's language.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And does it have other key aspects under it?
Yes, it would have key aspects, and this again would be in terms of looking at it from an individual perspective and also as a business perspective. You find that there are so many ways of ensuring that financial management is working, and you can look at it from an aspect of, let's say, debt, in terms of debt, in terms of investments, in terms of risk. So those are some of the allocations I would look at when it comes to, again, financial management.
Awesome. There is somewhere I saw, what is cash flow when it comes to financial management, and how is it important for a business to maybe monitor their cash flow? Yes.
So without cash flow,
a
business wouldn't run.
All right.
So we need to ensure that we are always having cash flow. And I'd give an example of something that we normally call liquidity. And liquidity would be the aspect of turning your assets into cash. So when we are looking at businesses, we want to be in a position whereby the assets that we have, we can be able to turn them into cash as fast as we can. So that will enable our cash flows to be solid. So every time in a business, you, even as an individual, there's a time that you always need cash. Something happens, you just need cash at that point. So cash flow is very important when it comes to businesses and also personal finances. And that's where, again, sometimes we find ourselves having emergency funds as a business and also as an individual.
All right. Wow. How can businesses prioritize financial goals and make informed decisions about investments and expenses?
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd start by saying that we need to know our financial goals.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, everyone knows about the SMART goals:
Yeah.
specific, measurable, attainable, is it retainable?
Yeah.
And time bound.
Yes.
So we need to ensure that our SMART goals are in place.
Mm-hmm.
And in that, we also need, because it's a matter of there's always risk that is involved. We need to know to what extent are we able to accommodate risk.
Okay.
As much as there's risk, we also need to know that there's a factor of return.
Right.
So risk go hand in hand with return. The lower the risk, the lower the return. The higher the risk, the higher the return. It just when it comes to the business or an individual, when it comes to investments, you have to weigh your risk and your returns.
Yeah.
If you have a capacity of embracing high risk,
Yeah.
you can go ahead. That means that you'll have high returns.
Okay.
And then there's the aspect of the stage of the business. So you'll find like small businesses and startups, they do need, especially for startups, their main focus is growth, not even profitability.
Yeah.
You just need to grow and ensure you're not making any losses on the bare minimum.
Yeah.
Even if you're not making any profit, you're just ensuring that your expenses are just equal to the revenue that you are having. And that is what we will call the break even.
Wow.
Just being balanced. You're not making any profit.
Yeah.
You're not making any loss. You are just maintaining yourself, ensuring that all your expenses have been catered for. So you'll find that startups, that is their major growth, is their major goal. And now when it comes to big businesses, the profit margins is what they look at.
Yeah.
So depending on the stage your business is at, is when you'll know how you're going to prioritize your cash flows and your investments. And also in terms of the risk, you'll know to what extent are you able to tolerate risk.
Wow.
Yes.
I was talking to a tax expert, and they kept insisting on documentation and bookkeeping.
Yes.
Is it the same for financial management when it comes to financial management for businesses?
Yes.
Yeah.
Everywhere it's all about, you see, everything begins at bookkeeping, to be sincere.
Yeah.
When it comes also, let's say, to budgeting, you'll also rely on bookkeeping, because you have to see the kind of expenses that you have.
Yeah.
And you can't just say you keep them off head. So you have to ensure that you are bookkeeping, regardless of whatever you want to do. Because you see, this bookkeeping, it is the source of our data. That is how we will know our financial status. When it comes now again to doing things like the financial statements, we need the books, we need data. And where do we get the data? Is from keeping the hard and soft copy documentation. And so everywhere when it comes to finances, we need to do bookkeeping. So documentation is very critical for us to come up with things like the financial statements, and that will be like the profit and loss balance sheet, the cash flow statements. So that is really, really critical. Yes.
So we get our businesses out of our minds and our pockets.
Yes.
We get the right documentation.
Correct.
Awesome. Now, talk to us about personal discipline when it comes to finances. How does it benefit a business now when you are opening a business, or when now you're taking that into business? Yes.
Okay. You see, when it comes to personal discipline, the same is translated to the business.
You cannot not have discipline when it comes to personal finances and ensure maybe that you will be successful
Yes.
on your business. So you have to have
goes
the
hand in
discipline
hand.
first. Yeah.
Yes. So you see, if you do not have the discipline even in your personal finances, the same will be translated to your business.
Yeah.
So it's just a habit. Kama unajibianga pesa wewe mwenyewe, you steal for the company. Because money is money. Doesn't it is not budged. This is business money and this is personal money. So the character that you have with the small money or with your personal money is the same character that translates to your business. And so we need to ensure that we are quite disciplined, so that we translate the same characters to our business.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow. And how can budgeting and saving help businesses better manage their tax obligations?
Okay.
Yeah.
That is quite an interesting question.
Yes.
And when it comes to that, when it comes to the budgeting bit,
yes,
you find that you can plan for tax even before, let's say, the end of the year.
Yeah.
So when it comes to budgeting, you can use forecasts or previous financial statements.
Right.
Let's say, for example, last year you paid 100,000 worth of tax.
Yeah.
Most likely that means this year you'll pay the same or more. So you can use previous data to ensure that your you have well planned for the next financial year.
Right.
So that is on the bit of budgeting.
All right.
Also, again, we can ensure that we have buffer savings.
Okay.
This is to ensure that in case of anything, in case of an emergency, or in case the taxes have overspilled, they are more than what you had expected, you have like an emergency fund for yourself to ensure that you have cushioned yourself. It's like an insurance policy.
Yeah.
You cushion yourself against any excess taxes that you will have to pay. So that's how budgeting comes in when it comes to the bit of taxes.
All right.
Yes.
So we need also to have the latest trends economically, so that we can know how to manage our finances well.
Yes. Also, in addition to that, you'll find that the issue of documentation that we were talking about, we need to ensure that our documentations have been put in correctly. Right. Because you find sometimes these documentations, they are a bit of expenses. And when it comes to accounting, some of the expenses reduce our tax liability. So you see, if you have not kept your documentation correctly, you'll miss out on the opportunity on claiming that tax. Yeah, it's true. Which reduces your tax liability. So if you do not keep your documentation well, you are putting your business at a loss because you're not able to claim for such tax. Yes.
I see that our time is quite moving fast. What factors should business consider when choosing investment options to grow their wealth and reduce debt?
Okay. When it comes to investment, I think the first thing is always risk. Risk versus return. The way I just said earlier on, the lower the risk, the lower the return. The higher the risk, the higher the return. So that is, we normally call it the return on investment, ROI. So we should be always in a position whereby we are able to determine what is the return on our investment when we are planning for such. Again, another factor when it comes to that will be like the way I said initially, the stage of the business. We want to ensure we make decisions according to where our business is at that particular moment of time. So you'll find that probably our priorities for the business are not investment at the time. So we need to ensure that we plan our finances according to the stage of our business. When you are in debt, you want to look at things like, let's say, you want to negotiate terms of credit, especially when it comes to let's say you've taken a loan.
Mm.
So I found out that when you are a business or an individual and you have a good credit score, and for instance, you have a loan and you've been paying,
Yeah.
you can go back and negotiate with the bank or whoever about the terms.
Okay.
So that will mean, one, you want probably to negotiate the interest rates.
Yeah.
Or two, you want to negotiate the repayment period. Let's say you want it to be elongated.
Yeah.
Because when you elongate the period,
Yeah.
that means you'll have to pay smaller installments.
Okay. All right.
So the rate will remain the same, but
Yeah.
you'll pay smaller installments, but for a longer period of time. So that reduces your liability, let's say per month or per year. So that way you are able to ensure that you've planned well and you're not suffering because you're putting all your money into debt repayment.
Okay.
And the other thing would be when you're budgeting,
Yeah.
you're supposed to ensure there's a docket for savings and debt repayment. So if you know you have taken a loan, for instance, and you're supposed to pay 50,000 per month, when you're budgeting, budget for that 50,000 per month. Wow. Such that you'll know you have a liability that you have to pay and have budgeted for it. So as long as I have resources, I'll put that allocation for the 50,000 to pay the debt that I have.
Awesome.
Yes.
Wow. Wow, this is just, we are getting a lot of information, and I like it how you're breaking it down to a level even someone who wants to start a business right now knows the way forward when it comes matters finances. Let me digress a little bit and ask, what's your take on businesses taking up loans?
Wow.
Yeah.
That is quite a good question. And debt has been a big issue when it comes to businesses and also individuals. Individuals out here are struggling with debt, and so are businesses. So when it comes to businesses and debt, personally, I'd advise, if it's a startup, just don't take debt. Find other ways of getting the money from friends, personal savings. The issue with taking up debt, especially for startup businesses, is that, for instance, if you've not done your market research, you don't have a guarantee that the business will perform. The business might fail. And you've taken up debt, and how will you repay? Because I'm imagining by the time you're going to look for debt, you have prospects that probably the business will be profitable and you'll be able to repay the debt. If you've not done your market research, and it's not a business that has already started, so you know that you've already made profits and its potential for growth. So if you've not done those two things, I wouldn't advise for you to take debt. Just to start up a business.
Oh, so don't take debt before you even dive into the business and know what even it entails and all those things.
Yes, at least just start up. Have the feel of it. Know the challenges that are there. Just see how it will perform, even for a few months or a year, and then from there you'll be able to make a solid decision on whether debt will be a good option for you. Yes.
I feel most people, that's where they go wrong. You take up a debt, you take up a loan, you had figured it out in your mind that this business has to do it because I saw so and so did this, and they are doing it, and you don't know how they did it. So you have advised us not to go for the loan first before we get into it. Awesome. That is amazing advice. Now talk to us, because you already touched on debt management. Talk to us briefly on debt management.
Yes. So I'd first start by assessing, let's say, myself. In that, you need to assess your financial situation. Assess your financial situation to know whether you really need the debt. At that point, because sometimes, even, let me just give an example of the Fuliza. Sometimes you become an impulse buyer. Say, just Fuliza because it is available. Debt is available everywhere, but we need to assess our financial situations before taking up debt, because that is the quote unquote msema kweli on whether we will need the debt. And again, in that position of self-assessment, you need to know, what are my objectives as a business? At that point, is my priority growth? Is my priority profit margins to increase my sales? What is your priority? So that also will add up to you making the final decision when it comes to this debt. Assuming this debt, again, you want to put it into business, I'd say do not put your eggs, all your eggs in one basket. We need to ensure that we diversify. Because I'm assuming this debt you're taking, you want to put it into business for it to work for you. If you want to put it into investment, don't put all of it in one basket, because one might fail, one might perform. So when you have diversified, it has that probability that in case of anything happens, at least you have somewhere to insure yourself, because not all eggs got broken.
Yeah. Wow. And now that you talked about that, what's your approach on risk management?
Okay. So when it comes to risk management, I'm those people that are risk averse. I fear risk, but at the same time, when you look at it from a business perspective, risk averse people never make it. So you have to always check what is the level of risk that you are able to pick up.
Okay.
So if you fear risk, you'll never have any returns. If you look at the successful people in life, they had to take risks.
They are risk takers.
Yes. So as much as we need to be risk averse, we also need to ensure that we are able to, there's that level of risk that we are able to uptake. So the other bit will be us having, for instance, insurance. Insurance is a good way of mitigating risk. So be it life, be it education, be it business, be it in case of a tragic situation. Let's say you own what is it called, a warehouse, and you have people's goods. One of the ways of mitigating the risk of, let's say, fire or anything is just taking up an insurance, because it's like a bounce back for you. In case anything happens, the insurance comes in to cover you for that risk that has happened. Also, again, for individuals and also businesses, we do advise that people to have emergency funds.
Okay.
I'll give an example whereby you have an emergency fund and an abrupt expense or emergency has come up. Because at that time, probably you do not have enough cash flow, but there's some money you've been keeping somewhere just in case of such emergencies. Such an emergency fund would really help. And mostly these emergency funds should be in places whereby you are able to access those funds immediately. And so you find that most of the times you do advise, if it's emergency funds, be it personal or business, you can consider a money market fund.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And how do you ensure there is transparency when it comes to the financial transactions that someone makes?
Okay. So when it comes to financial transparency, we have to ensure that we have internal controls in your business, especially when it comes to businesses. We need internal controls. And internal controls, when it comes to transparency for transactions, begins with, let's say, documentation. Whereby you have to provide documentation for every expense. For every payout you want to make, ensure there's a valid documentation. There's a valid reason why you want that money to be used or for
Yeah.
that transaction to be performed.
Yeah.
Again, because we are in a company or we are in a business, we want to ensure that not one person has the role or responsibility of doing all transactions.
Yeah.
Put strategies in place whereby we have approvers, for instance.
Okay.
Have different managers approve different things,
Okay.
such that let's say the person doing the transaction at the bank is not the one still approving for the payment request. Such we need to have procedures, we call them standard operating procedures, such that everyone is handling a bit of everything.
Okay.
In case of anything, 1 or 2 or 3 people are liable.
Yeah.
Yes.
Does it mean even in small businesses that I should have people? We should have the standard operating procedures, because I tend to think sometimes when someone is when a business is coming up, it's growing, it doesn't have, it's me
Oh,
who is
yes.
doing everything.
Yes.
So I am the
You're the alpha and omega of the
yes.
business. Oh, I'd put it this way. You see, like for a small business, let's say I'm here, I'm the one doing everything A to Z. I do not have employees.
Okay.
That way, it is my discipline that will save my business.
Oh, that's where the discipline comes in.
Yes. But in a case whereby now you have employees, you can even step out and let the employees run things while you are away.
We feel like they'll steal.
You feel that they'll steal.
Yeah.
But now, ensure that, let's say you have 5 employees.
Yeah.
Ensure like at least 2 are the ones, there's a procedure.
Okay.
Let's say I want to purchase a computer for employees. I would say, let the one requesting for the computer make an official request.
Okay.
Their manager to approve.
Yeah.
That is after clearly identifying there is the need for the computer. After the manager has approved, it will go to finance.
Yeah.
When it goes to finance, because the company has let's say someone in finance, and now you as the end person at finance,
Yeah.
let this person in finance, let's say, initiate the transaction and another one to release the transaction, such that you see in the middle we've had like 3 people doing a single transaction.
Yeah,
so
sure.
If anything happens, these 3 people will be liable for whatever has happened.
Yeah.
And that is why we're talking about transaction transparency.
All right.
Because it will be like, assuming anything went wrong, it will be like 2 people must have colluded, not an individual.
Yeah.
So that way it becomes easy to trace everything and every transaction, saying, why didn't this procedure take place? Why didn't the request take place? Why didn't the approval take place?
Yeah.
Yes.
So accountability.
Yes.
All
Critical and very important, especially for businesses.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. And how can businesses create long-term financial plans?
Wow. So again, we will start with our objectives and our goals.
Yeah.
As a business.
Yeah.
You need to understand where you want to be in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years, in the next 20 years. So that will guide on your long-term goals and your short-term goals. So you'll find that short-term goals, you need a lot of cash. So that means even when you're investing, for you to achieve the short-term goals, you'll be investing or putting your money in places whereby they are not out of reach. In case of anything, you just need a few days to access money. Long-term goal, you'll find that you can, let's say, even buy land, because you know you'll buy and it will take probably even 10 years just to resell the land. So the goals, the long-term goals and the short-term goals really come in hand, just to ensure that the financial goals of the company really is really achieved, especially on a timely manner.
Yeah. Awesome. And how can businesses stay informed about the changes in interest rates inflation or economic trends that are affecting businesses?
Okay.
Yes, how can they stay
Mhm.
informed?
So here in Kenya, we
Yeah.
have the Central Bank of Kenya.
Yeah.
They are normally the ones that put the regulations when it comes especially to interest, things, lending rates and inflation rates. So normally they have a website whereby they post all those things. And also we have media.
Yeah.
Media, normally newspapers. For instance, investing companies normally are required by the government to post how their performance
Okay.
on newspapers. And then we have the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics. So even in their websites, you are able to gain that data.
Yeah.
Also, the World Bank and the IMF,
Yeah.
International Monetary Fund, on their websites, they have that data for the various countries. Now in Kenya, you'll search for Kenya. You'll find that information in those particular websites.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no one has, you don't have to say you're not informed about these things.
No.
All right.
No,
They are
you-
happening all over.
They are happening all over.
Yeah.
If you're not able to reach all other sources,
Yeah.
at least you can reach CBK.
Yeah, exactly.
Or a newspaper in a supermarket. Just go and flip, you'll see something.
Yeah.
Yeah, in regards to the same.
Wow.
Yes.
Awesome. Wow, that is so great, Lois. You are really helping us in understanding matters financial management. And just another one here, how do you tailor your recommendations to meet the specific needs and goals of your clients?
Wow. So when it comes to tailoring,
Yes.
we have to know what are your needs and what are your wants.
Yeah.
We want to fully understand you as a company, as an individual, before we come up with a solution
Okay.
to give you. Different people have different needs.
Yeah.
So the way I'll tailor make your need or the solution to your need is totally different to how I'll tailor make to the need of another individual. So when you come to us, the first thing we'll do is normally we do an assessment. We call it an audit, whereby we'll give you, for instance, some questions to answer so that we can understand you better and know you better, so that we can know what is the problem and what is the solution to the problem that you are having. So that makes work easier for us, even to come up with solid plans on how we can be able to work hand in hand and also give you a solution to the problem that you have.
Okay. All right, Lois, as we come to a conclusion, what advice would you give to small business owners or even an existing company that have not taken keen on their financial matters? What would you tell them?
Finances is everything. We need to take care of our finances so that they can work for us and not us working for our finances. We need to ensure that we have put up strategies that will ensure our finances are in check, that will ensure we do not end up losing money, that ensure that we are putting our money in the right places. And all in all, like the way you had said earlier, let's document everything.
Yeah.
KRA right now is very specific when it comes to expenses, when it comes to documentation. So let us always be in the right lanes when it comes to regulations, statutory, and also when it comes to KRA.
Yeah.
Yes.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Lois. That was great information that we've gotten right there. Just give us where can people find you? How can people get to you if they need if they need to consult you on financial matters? How can people get to you looking at that camera?
Okay.
Yeah.
People can get me through Instagram, Lois Mumbua. And the other one will be my email, which is musimilois@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Yes.
Amazing. And we'll be writing them down for you here on our screen for you to see, so that you can follow Lois, whether you have a question, whether you need to be assisted in your company or in your business, talk to Lois and she will come through for you. Thank you so much, Lois. That has been amazing.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much for educating us and even our viewers. All right, and that's where we come at a close. Thank you so much, our viewers, for keeping it there at PrayerCaveTV, my source business show. Thank you for your time and your attention. We are looking forward for more amazing topics. Do you have a topic? Do you have a question that you would love us to answer or bring an expert in to answer for you? Kindly do not hesitate to talk to us through our number 0710546454, and we will help you get to an expert, or we will answer you through maybe bringing an expert in studio and answer your questions. Thank you so much. This is where we wrap it up for tuning in to My Source Business Show. Until next time, keep striving for greatness and may your ventures thrive. God bless you and goodbye.